That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Welcome to Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup. I'm your host, Jason Bland, and tonight it's open lines night because sadly Anthony Sanchez was going to be our guest. We were going to talk about UFOs and aliens. It's a big passion of his as a researcher. I was really looking forward to it. Anthony came down with a serious migraines, not feeling well at all, and I totally understand. We will find another night to get him on. But tonight, we're going to talk about Doomsday Scenarios. Yes, Doomsday Scenarios. We're going to talk about how will the world end? Are you interested? Now, it's not going to be all doom and gloom. I'm going to have some fun with this, but I think we've all lived under, for the last, I don't know, I'm 37 years old. Doomsday Scenarios after Doomsday Scenarios, Nostradamus specials. We've been bombarded by it. And that's what tonight's going to be about. How do you think the world's going to end? Or do you think it's going to end at all? You know, we're living in a doomsday generation. It especially feels like that with our two presidential main candidates. All right, guys, we'll be with you in just one sec. All right, welcome to another night of Paranormal Soup. Tonight's topic is Doomsday. Yes, how do you think the world will end? Or do you think it will end at all? I've always felt, the reason I wanted to do this show, this has been my backup show idea for a while. I wanted to actually prepare for it more, but the title of the show is Game Over, Man.
Game over, man. Game over.
You'll hear Corporal Hicks in the background quite often on this one tonight. Is it game over? We're talking about presidential elections coming up. You know, I've been voiced my opinion before. I don't like either of our options. But is it doomsday? Is it that bad, or is it just the same old crap again? We're just stuck with a lousy choice. And would they even cause a doomsday? You know, that's just one of the millions of ways to die on Earth that we're going to talk about tonight. And I want interaction from you guys tonight in the chat room and the Skype call-in line, guys. This is a night to call in, voice your opinion on this. Do you think the world's going to end, or do you have an opinion on how it's going to end? Or do you think we're going to it's all a bunch of malarkey, we're going to keep on going? Do you have a religious perspective on this? You know, there's plenty, major religions out there have talked about the end of the world forever. You know, and do you have a personal religious experience or a belief or philosophy that you think the world is not, the end is nigh? I'm agnostic. Myself, I question everything, even if the world's going to end. I'm sure it will end sometime, but is it going to be tomorrow? Is it going to be, we missed the 2012 vote, didn't come. I don't know. This is our topic. It's open lines. And if you want to call in about anything else too tonight, feel free. This is open lines. If you don't want to talk about the end of the world, I understand. And this is about, I don't want it to be doom and gloom. You know me, I'm a jackass. I'm going to have fun with this tonight. You should too. But if you want to call in about some other topic, I'm fine with that. Don't worry about it. You can call in. The Skype ID is oojblandoo. Also, the other option is if you're friends with me on Facebook, only it works if you're friends with me on Facebook, and you can't use Skype. There's two ways I can get you on the show. You can call in on the Facebook Messenger. You can call me on that, but I need to know you're going to do that. So type it in the chat room. Call out to Jamie. She'll let me know, and I'll go switch from my Skype to Facebook Messenger. Or I can call you on the phone. Just send me a message with your phone number if you're willing to do that, if you really want to come in and talk. So I'm giving you guys a couple different ways of options. I don't really want to post a Google Hangouts link anymore. You have to have really good internet to get on. Skype isn't so bad. Phone lines aren't so bad. Facebook Messenger actually works pretty good. but I don't want to do the Google Hangouts. I've got too many people on, and it doesn't work very well. If you really think you've got a good connection, I'll send you the link in Facebook if you're a Facebook friend. So this is going to open lines for a lot of Facebook friends. If you're not a Facebook friend, then Skype is your option to call in tonight. Next time, try to find me on Facebook, and we'll get you in. And, of course, we got the World Wide Web of Weird, my favorite thing to do every week. I made it a short World Wide Web of Weird because I had a lot to talk about with Anthony, and like I said, I don't blame him. When you got a migraine, I've been there. You can't focus. You can't talk. There's no way you could do an interview thoroughly at all. So we'll get him back on. So I totally understand. All right, guys, let's go ahead and roll into the World Wide Web of Weird. All right, well, that transition didn't go good with the World Wide Web of Weird. Oh, well. All right, so tonight, first off, this is going to be a video. This comes from Nicaragua. I've always been awful at saying that country's name, just like Thailand. Just Thailand. But this one I got off the Coast to Coast AM website. This is a video of a woman who gets possessed on Nicaraguan TV. Already strange television news report on exorcisms in Nicaragua took an even more bizarre turn when a young woman interviewed on the segment suddenly also becomes possessed. I'm going to play some of this in the background here while I read. That unsettling scene occurred during a visit from the news station to the home of a woman who had grown increasingly aggressive over the last 3 months, allegedly due to evil spirits. In an effort to help the potentially possessed woman, 2 Christian priests visited her and attempted to thwart the demons with their prayers. The quasi-exorcism seemed to work as the woman reportedly began acting much calmer after their visit. However, a subsequent strange event during the segment suggests that the demons may not have been entirely banished. As reporters were interviewing the woman's neighbor, one of them suddenly fell on the ground and began convulsing as if the nefarious forces had now entered her body. The helpful priest in turn began praying for that woman and eventually took her to a nearby church for additional spiritual aid. According to the news report, the particular area of Nicaragua, God, I'm horrible at saying that, has seen a spate of possessions due to residents participating in the occult. And this seems to be going on. I mean, we talked about this. This is the woman, the neighbor, who suddenly became possessed here, you're seeing in the video. And if this story could not get any weirder, neighbors of the first possessed woman claimed that her house was often visited by a large toad, which they believed to be some kind of harbinger of evil spirits. Hopefully a follow-up segment from the TV station will let us know what became of the suspicious toad. This is one thing I missed, and I'm going to, the last week's guest, Debbie Vacay, was so incredible. I already have her scheduled to come back on November 13th. And we're going to talk, I want to focus in on all these, it seems like rampant possessions and multiple people being possessed down in South America and in the places like the Philippines, and it just seems to be going on all over the world. Especially, I hate to say it, in third world countries, there just seems to be a lot of these possession stories going on, and especially with the teenagers in the schools playing Charlie or whatever they're doing, Ouija boards, I don't know, but it's odd, and it concerns me. It scares the crap out of me. Possession always scares the crap out of me. So what's going on? Why are these massive possessions deals going on in the world? And again, this is open lines night. If you want to comment on that, not on the Doomsday topic, go ahead, call in if you got anything you want to say that, or about what Debbie said last week. That was such an interesting show. I cannot wait to get her back on. All right, let's see this video. I didn't realize it must have double clipped it. Keeps on going. You can see.
I blame CERN if you ask me, but.
Well, we're going to get into that. Of course, I'm going to get into that. Now, I don't have that. Actually had to add that after I made my video edit, so we're going to have to play that right off of YouTube. But I was going to get into that. That's towards the end of World Wide Web of Weird, but yeah, that's coming. I finally have something on cryptozoology. Should be coming up here in a second. This is another one I had off of Coast to Coast AM. This one was from Portugal. This video should end. I didn't realize it just totally double played it. Weird. All right, here we go. Let's pause this a second. Watch walking creature filmed in Portugal. A bizarre video of from Portugal appears to show some kind of creature ambling on 2 feet through the desert before disappearing behind a shrub. And I'm already going to tell you guys, I feel shenanigans are at play. In the footage, the person behind the camera appears to notice the bipedal anomaly walking near what appears to be a dirt road, and then quickly zooms in out of the sight to get a better look at it. The vantage point clearly shows a mysterious entity that seems to be sporting exceedingly long limbs, slow walking towards a bush, and never reappearing in the scene. Little is known about the origins. I'm going to go ahead and start playing it. The enigmatic video, but that hasn't stopped observers from offering their best guesses as to what may be unfolding in the brief footage. Paranormal enthusiasts have suggested that the creature may be a Bigfoot or a chupacabra, while skeptics, of course, argue that the footage is simply a fake, and I'm one of those skeptics. I don't know how clear this will come through. You can find this video, Bizarre Creature Spotted in Portugal, and you'll find it on my World Wide Web of Weird playlist. But I have my doubts on this one. Let me go back.
I think it's a digicabra.
Yep, digicabra. That's perfect. That is Todd. I love you have the best one-liners in the world. I swear to God. That's why I love having you on the show. Digicabra. That is awesome. All right, here's the close-up, and this is why I think it's a digicabra. Look at the shadows, and it might be too blurry on him. And you see it clearly. If you look at the shadow overlay, that's your giveaway. That it's a digicabra. The shadowing isn't right at the bottom of its feet compared to everything else.
Yeah. That's always the light source. Look where your light source is. Look where the shadow is.
Yep. Digicabra. That's a new term, man. That's such a beautiful term. All right, everybody knows.
Copyright.
All right, Todd's called claim to it, but I'm going to use it on the show, Todd. Of course. Come on, man. All right, everybody knows and I wanted to talk to Anthony Sanchez about this so bad tonight. He covers a lot of stuff with, he's about the Dulce, New Mexico underground base, and that's a huge interest to me. But I really wanted to ask him his thoughts on aliens on the moon. Everybody, that's when it comes to aliens, that's probably my favorite topic. I don't know why. It's just something I guess it goes back to the late 90s when listening to Art Bell and John Lear talk about it, and alien structures and our souls go to the moon. It just fascinated me. But this comes from Daily Express. Proof aliens examine the moon. Dark UFO disc film flying over lunar surface. A strange disc UFO film passing the moon has ET chasers convinced aliens are investigating the lunar surface. I don't think they're investigating. I think they're just doing the routine pass because they're there. The dark object was spotted during footage taken by Moon Livestream and has excited UFO investigators as is not the first time such a sighting has happened. Skeptics dismiss these objects as satellites placed into orbit by space agencies on Earth, which is definitely a possibility. Other suggestions are they could even be weather balloons that appear to be much closer to the moon on the live stream than they actually are. But paranormal investigators say they can rule these explanations out. Scott C. Waring, editor of the UFOsightingsdaily.com, said, as luck would have it, this UFO was caught on a live stream when they were checking out the moon. It was caught by Space Imaging Keith of YouTube. Good job, Keith. The UFO is not a satellite which would travel in a straight line. This UFO zigs and zags and moves forward. I'm going to play a little bit of it. He is convinced it can only be intelligently flown alien spacecraft or some other top secret Earth-based project. I think it's aliens on the moon. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but again, light.
Yeah, I know. Anything with the moon, I get excited. I can't help it.
Yeah, if they're going to hide anywhere, though, it's going to be underwater.
Well, that's for sure. I definitely think that. What was the movie? One of the movies I loved as a kid was Abyss. And those were the aliens. Yeah, those were aliens. I totally, yeah, oh God, I love that movie. I don't know how many times I watched that movie, but and I don't think they
got hurt trying to breathe liquid oxygen. Just happened to be their bathtub. Yeah, good guy.
Yeah. But if I definitely think if aliens were on this planet, they'd be in two places. I don't think they would just be underwater. I think the moon would be such a great observation point. and probably on the, they probably set up bases on the dark side of the moon and observation little equipment on the other side. But
well, the far side it'd have to be because the side towards us is so scrutinized.
Yeah, definitely on the dark side of the moon. I wish I could have copyright and play Dark Side of the Moon right now, but I can't. All right, so
Maybe
the next
you can sing it for us.
No, I need a guitar to do that. Okay, this next one coming up here. This one I don't want to make light of too much. Here's some more moon stuff here, but this next one I'm going to talk about. It's sad because 2 people died, and we still got alien stuff going on here. I should have left it play. Wasn't this guy that did it? I don't know who this guy. This is the UFO sighting daily guy that caught it, and then more of the UFO there over the moon. I got to remember how long I make these videos.
There's definitely some fishery going on the moon, though. There's something.
Yeah. Oh my God.
They find the things on the moon, though, but it doesn't generate its own light. It's a reflected light source, so anything in front of it should be illuminated, not a big blob of shadow.
So you wouldn't be black. See, that's why I love having you on, Todd. So it wouldn't be black. It would be shiny.
Well, okay, with the caveat of unless it was some amazing alien stuff that absorbed light. But
Which
like that one you just flicked across, the bright spot that showed, that there, okay, now there's something that's either self-illuminating or has got reflected light. That there's reflected light. That, why is it pitch black when you've got reflected light?
True. I didn't even think about it. See, that's why I love having you on,
That's
Todd.
true.
You have such a good eye for this. This is why I'm a paranormal investigator, not a UFOologist, because I just get too excited. I'm like, oh, UFO!
Well, that's why you need different people with different
Exactly.
perspectives. Otherwise, you get stuck in your own bubble.
That's why I have a panel, and it's just not my jackass talking all by myself.
Well, there you go.
Oh, it doesn't show my pictures. Oh, there we go. And it cuts off his face. That's fine, this poor soul. And I say poor soul because this guy's out of his frippin' gourd. This is the most up-to-date article. There's been about 6 articles in the last 2 days since this happened. This is about the guy eating some poor people's face. He killed 2 people.
Oh, the bath salt stuff, yeah.
Well, they don't know. I don't know. They haven't come back with a test yet, so I don't know.
It's gotta be.
So this I want to read the most recent article because what basically happened is this guy, they found him, basically killed 2 people and he was eating one of their faces. I know. So zombie stuff fascinates me, but are there really zombies? No, I don't know. But this is probably drugs. Drugs are bad. Okay.
It's happened like 6 or 10 times now of them. Somebody on some random experimental drug out of China, they think, kills and then starts gnawing in somebody's face. What the hell are they making? Right.
Well, the synthetic stuff, they think Flocka is one of the ones because that's what's big in Florida right now is this Flocka stuff. Synthetic stuff in New York, it seems to make people totally dazed and confused. Flocka makes people violent, crazy violent.
One guy started eating his dog's leg while it was alive.
Ooh.
On bath salts. And
the bath salts are. See, the
another 3 guys just randomly, one guy in Florida, just randomly just started eating some guy's face off.
What's going on in Florida? I swear 90% of these stories are coming from Florida. But let me read this article really quick. This is the most recent one. It might give us some. Yeah, it's always Florida. Sorry, Rob. All right. So, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the AP. This comes from Yahoo News. The mother of a 19-year-old Florida State University student charged with fatally stabbing a couple outside their home and then biting the dead man's face told police her son had been acting strangely for days and claimed to have superpowers, according to a report released Wednesday. Mina Haroff called Jupiter Police about 3 hours after Austin Haroff stormed out of the restaurant Monday night following an argument with his father, the report said. She told an officer her son had been acting strangely for about a week, said he had superpowers and that he was here to protect people. Eating their face is not protecting people, but okay, the report said. She told Officer Luis Rocha her son had no history of mental illness nor heavy drug use. Mina told me that she does not believe him to be a danger to anyone or to himself. Well, you were wrong. I am so sorry. She and Rocha didn't know that the 45 minutes after he had left Duffy's restaurant, Austin Horoff had been arrested in neighboring Martin County by sheriff's deputies who said they saw him mauling the body of John Stevens, 59. Sheriff William Snyder says Horoff attacked Stevens and his wife, 53-year-old Michelle Michon, randomly as they sat in their garage, stabbing them multiple times. It took numerous deputies and a dog to subdue Horoff. I'm probably butchering his name. A muscular former high school football player and a wrestler who shook off electric shocks from a stun gun. And let me tell you, the short time I was on the police department, I got pepper sprayed, and I got out right before they had to do the stun gun thing. But I had my friends that did it before me. It amazes me when I hear stories about people fighting off the taser. Like people can get immune to pepper spray. Now I cried like a baby from the pepper spray. I'll just tell you that now. But stun gun, man, you just lose all control. You just go to the ground, and you better have let loose of your bowels before you did.
I was gonna say, you better have an extra pair of underwear with you.
Right. I mean, and I saw this, with my friends, and they even did it with 4 guys at one time, all touching each other and zapping one of them, and they all went to the ground. So it amazes me when I hear these stories. If this is drugs, which I'm definitely sure it probably is, man, what it's doing to the body to make it resist a stun gun. That just blows my mind, because I've seen people tasered. I've seen, you go down. You have no control over your body. You completely have no control. You were a mess. And for somebody to fight off a taser, and I've heard of it, but it just seems so, it seems so impossible to me. It just does. It took numerous deputies and a dog to subdue Horoff, muscular former high school football player and wrestler who shook off an electronic shock from a stun gun, Snyder said. He said Horoff was abnormally strong, incoherent, and making animal-like noises. Horoff was listed in a stable condition at a hospital Wednesday and was scheduled to undergo surgery on his hand. Snyder, and that's probably from the dog. He fought off a dog, okay, a police dog doing this. Snyder said Horoff tested negative for cocaine, methamphetamines, heroin, and other common drugs. The further tests would be conducted to see if he had ingested hallucinogenic drugs like flakka or bath salt. And that's the thing. These guys, they're not getting used yet to testing for these things. It takes them longer to test for these things. One, because they keep changing the signature of these things chemically, so it gets harder and harder to test for it. Horoff's attorney, Michelle Susker, I totally butchered that, did not return her call and an email seeking comment. Of course not. It's sad. I don't want to make too much light of this because, 2 people are dead. And it worries me that, I even knows I'm libertarian. I believe the government should leave us alone. And people should be able to smoke all the marijuana they want. But at the same time, there's a part of me that's but there's some drugs we just can't, we have to stop. We can't let this get out of control. We can't let people do this. I'm pretty much like, government stay on my lives, but please stop zombie-like hallucinogenic drugs. That's where I draw the line. Hell, you want to go do heroin and go kill yourself? Fine. You basically just kill yourself doing it. Crack cocaine, you become a thief. So I have a little problem with that. But flakka and the bath salts, that stuff makes people. It scares me. It makes people effing crazy. It's like, remember the PCP scares of the 80s, That's what it brings back to mind. You remember they'd all ever be afraid of the active shooter. That was our first experience with active shooters, really, was with the people all effed up on PCP and going in, and cops couldn't even take them down with bullets. They were just shaking it off like, oh, I got shot. What? I don't care. I'm on PCP. It scares the crap out of me. So my libertarian, let's let the government stay out of our lives, blah blah blah. That I do draw the line on this stuff. It scares the crap out of me. I don't want a zombie apocalypse of drug addicts going around. It's nuts.
My little cousin tried it, not knowing any better, in high school.
Bath salts?
Well, she had thought it was synthetic marijuana,
Oh.
so we didn't think there was anything wrong with it.
Well, no, there's something wrong with that, too.
Yeah, she thought she was going to die, and it was the worst thing in the world.
I had a friend who did the synthetic marijuana, and I said, man, I've heard horrible things. I wouldn't do it. He not only did he not listen, he went and rolled it all up into a joint and smoked it, and he told me he'd never do it again because he thought he was going to die. He almost had to go to the hospital. People wouldn't be doing half this crap if it wasn't, for the fact that they're going after lesser drugs like marijuana. This stuff's easier to get than marijuana, I'm hearing.
Yeah, I want nothing to do with any of that shit.
I know the world is turning into a scary place, and since our topic for tonight. But I got one more video to make it seem even more scarier. Oh, let me get to the right. I got the video ready to play.
I know
All
two
right.
people here in the town I live in that have died from that stuff in the last 6 months.
The bath
Really?
salts.
Yep.
What's Flocka, though? That's one I've heard just a little bit about. I'm not as familiar with Flocka. What the hell is that?
Yeah, what is that?
I'm not really sure.
I've just heard a little bit of that. And then don't forget about crocodile, which is basically a bunch of crap thrown together and like eat your skin, and it makes you look like a zombie. You know.
Well, the first one you just said, somebody said it on TV the other day, and I said, you know, back when you teach kids about drugs, like we all know what crack, coke, all this stuff is, they don't, you know, but now they're saying these names of words that I have no idea what they mean.
You know what, and I've always said this. You tell kids marijuana's bad. Drugs are bad, okay? You know, you tell people that you tell these kids marijuana is bad, that it's it's highly addictive. You tell the people all this bull crap about it over, I remember as a kid in the 80s and the Reagan, drug war.
With the eggs, this is your brain.
This is your brain on drugs, yeah. Well, the thing is, kids go and they smoke marijuana and they go, I didn't die. That wasn't that bad. They must have lied about all that other crap. And then they're like, let's go try heroin now. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's try cocaine. I've always said that. You're going to lie about something like that because it is a lie. I'm sorry. It is a lie. I'm sorry. People are more dangerous for them to drink alcohol than it is for them to smoke pot. And I don't think people should be out there driving and smoking pot. I'm against that,
100%.
But the stigma they put on this has cost us dearly because you put this in these kids' heads, they go and do it, and they're like, well, you people are you're full of crap. And then they're like, I'm going to try the next thing. Let's go do some LSD. Let's go do some heroin. If you don't agree with me, I understand. But this is my personal opinion on it. I'm a libertarian. I believe at least people should be allowed to smoke marijuana if they want to in their privacy of their home. I don't think people should be out on the streets, just like you shouldn't be out in the streets just drinking a 40.
Exactly.
You should be in your home. You want to do it in your home? That's perfectly fine. Not out in public. Maybe if there's some event or concert and they want to let you do it, they're fine. People can drink at concerts. I'd be for that. But not walking down the street, I'm going to smoke a joint. No. I just think that we put such a stigma on it. We've really hurt ourselves over the last 30, 40, 50 years of, crap. Back in the 50s, they had a woman jumping out a window because she smoked pot in their anti-marijuana things. That really was a way to screw the pooch on being honest with your kids.
Reefer madness.
Reefer madness. You got it. All right, let's get on to the next story. And, what time is it? 10:27, the last one. All right, I had a couple more just in case I went through stuff too quick, but I definitely have to cover this. All right, so this is another one that was on Coast to Coast, but it's all over the place. Everybody's talking about it. CERN, if you're not familiar with this is the large Hadron Collider in Switzerland. Where they're smashing particles together. Hell, and some people even thought they might blow up the Earth or cause a wormhole or a black hole or something. They're experimenting with some stuff that might be dangerous. I don't know. Well, this kind of scares me. Scientists stage fake human sacrifice. A truly incredible story has emerged from Geneva as scientists at CERN were caught on tape performing a mock human sacrifice. I'm going to go ahead and play this. I'm not going to even have the audio on it. We don't need audio. Little is known about the origins of the video, but there's no doubt as to its authenticity. I can't even talk. Thanks to a jaw-dropping response from CERN. In a statement to AFP, a spokesperson for the organization confirmed that the scene was filmed at their facility in Geneva, which is home to the Large and I once saw them misspell it on CNN and call it a Hard-on Collider, but Hadron Collider. CERN stressed that the Fox sacrifice was performed without the group's foreknowledge or permission and promised an investigation into the strange affair. This is done on, come on, they got security up all over the place. You don't know this is going on. Unfortunately, the organization dismissed the incident as a prank and attributed it to visiting scientists making a creative use of their downtime. This is their downtime, people. This is what these scientists that are throwing particles together at light speed, are doing. CERN welcomes every year thousands of scientific users from all over the world, and sometimes some of them let their humor go too far. An email to the AFP said, "This is what happened on this occasion." Of course, historic enthusiasts may not be as quick to see the sacrifice as simply a fun way for some scientists to decide to spend an evening in Geneva. The footage is eerily reminiscent of the notorious tales of Bohemian Grove, and a cult legend has a history of science and magic mixing, including the infamous rituals revered by rocket engineers engineer Jack Parsons. The suspicious source of the video, however, says that perhaps these memories are exactly what the scene was designed to evoke, and there is a secondary hoax of sorts at work here, and that this was not really a found footage scenario. Imaginative observers may also consider the idea that the ritual, although a mock sacrifice, actually was performed with a desire to stir something in the ether at the cutting edge of scientific facility. Because, I mean, how many times have we heard CERN has opened a gateway to hell, and here they are doing this. I mean, I can see that there's some guys joking, some scientists that see all this stuff about CERN. They're like, man, we're really gonna get some people with this one, you know. But yeah, I don't know. With already having the statue of Shiva at your facility and some kind of weird stuff that's gone on, if that was the best idea. We may never know exactly what was happening in the country courtyard that evening, but it is certain that the footage and the admission by CERN that it was real and sure that the weird events will forever have its place in conspiracy lore. It's weird. I don't know. I can see that it might have been a practical joke. I definitely can buy that, because if I was a scientist, I'm a practical joker. I could see let's really like that's with some people, but I don't know. It might have gone too far. I don't know.
It's a perfect place for a practical joke, or maybe not, because if they do it there, it's like people don't know whether to believe it or not. Oh, it's just a joke, or was it? Who knows?
And first, in How Will the World End? Doomsday Scenarios, will CERN kill us all? By creating a miniature black hole or something. That's one of those ones I've seen on Facebook, and that's what I'm going to go ahead and switch this on over to us here. Tonight, that's the topic, is how do you think the world will end? Do you think it will end? Is Doomsday on your mind at all? Does it lurk there back in your brain? I'm a paranoid SOB, and yes, it does lurk in the back of mind. When I was younger, it did, but more in a nostalgic kind of like I don't give a crap. I would sit back and I'd smoke a joint and watch the world burn, you know, kind of thing. Being a father now, that's changed. Now it's in the back of my mind like, oh my God, we're all gonna die. We're so screwed. You know, as a father, you know, I don't joke about it as much anymore, but I do want to keep the show lighthearted about it. But it does, a lot of these scenarios we're going to talk about tonight scare the living hell out of me because I'm a father. I want my kids to have a future. And I've always felt like we've grown up in a doomsday generation. Like we're the basically leftover ramifications of the 1950 Cold War duck and cover. And that's the first video I want to play tonight for you guys. I am going to open up the Skype line. If you call in, just hold on until I get to you. I won't hear you, but I know you've called in. Just wait till I call on you. So I am going to open up the Skype line, so you can call in at any time. Tonight. It's open. Again, if you want to talk about anything we're talking about tonight or talk about something else, I don't care. That's fine. And you can't use Skype. If you're a Facebook friend and you have a way, you can get a hold of me on Facebook, but let them know. Let Jamie know who's watching the chat room, or Bill or Rob or whatever. Let them know that you're trying to get a hold of me on Facebook. I can call you on Facebook Messenger if you have that as your and on an app, whatever, and you just make sure you got good connection and no background noise. Don't be playing YouTube in the background, no matter how you call in. And or if you want to message me your phone number, I can call you on the phone. I only have one line, though, so if I'm on the phone, on Skype, on Facebook Messenger, any other way of calling in, I can't do it until I'm done with that person, so you got to wait your turn. Not that I think I'm going to have anybody that, you know, last week's show was probably the first time I had that many people call in.
It was awesome.
It was awesome. I loved it. So I want it again tonight. You just call in and join the talk. Like I said, I already got a panel here in the Google Hangouts, so I'm not going to be having people on Google Hangouts. This is my panel tonight. We got Jamie D. Love you, Jamie. She helped with that intro. I hope you guys were able to see the intro. I don't know if you did. Bill Perry, or Bill P. Perry's not his last name. I always butcher your last name, so I don't say it. That's why, Bill. Pedra? Padera, see? There I go butchering it, king of butchering names. Rob Autry, I bet I butchered that too. And then
you said it perfect, man.
That's why I say Jamie D, because I definitely butcher her name. I don't think she even knows how to pronounce her own last name, though. And then Todd, I'm going to butcher your name. Reinert?
I saw he said he was going to be back in a few minutes.
Oh,
so
he's going to be back. So Todd's gone. But I probably butchered his name. I butchered even the closest friends' names. And I grew up with a stepfather who had the last name Siselsky. And that's the only name it took me years to get right. So, okay, let's go ahead. And I want to play this first video to set the mood. Why I think we are in the doomsday psychological settings what we have all this after baggage from the 1950s. So let me go ahead and get the screen share up, and we're going to play that. And the button echo will be down for my guys in the panel, so if you do talk on it, we might get a little echoing from you. So let's go ahead. This is on the fly, guys. I didn't really get to plan this episode out. It was last minute, so this is going to be a crazy episode. We'll see how it goes. Got to get my right YouTube list up. Hold on. All right. I got to remember where I put it. Did I put it under? I put it under Tonight Show. Oh, come on now. I thought I put it in. Oh, nope. It's in a special channel called Game Over Man. If you ever want to check out my list of YouTube videos, I'm not going to play all of them tonight. It's called Game Over.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Be the first person to call on the show. Tell me where that line comes from. What movie? I don't have a prize for you though. just the golf clap. If you can call in and tell me what movie that's from. No giving it out in the chat room. All right, here we go. Button of echo is on. Oh, come on. I tell you what, Windows Edge sucks. Oh, let me see. It won't even let me unmute it. Come on now. Let me unmute it. It won't let me unmute it. Come on now.
And the turtle was very alert. When danger threatened him, he never got hurt. He knew just what to do. He ducked and covered. Duck and cover.
He did what we all must learn to do.
You and you
And you
and you. Duck and cover.
Be sure and remember what Bert the Turtle just did, friends, because every one of us must remember to do the same thing. That's what this film is all about. Duck and cover.
This is an official civil defense film produced in cooperation with the Federal Civil Defense Administration and in consultation with the Safety Commission of the National Education Association.
Produced by Archer Productions Incorporated. Come on out and meet all these nice people, please. All right. I really can't blame you. You see, Bert is a very, very careful fellow. When there's danger, this is the way he keeps from being hurt. Sometimes it even saves his life. That's why these children are practicing to duck and cover, just as you do in your school. We all know the atomic bomb is very dangerous. Since it may be used against us, we must get ready for it, just as we are ready for many other dangers that are around us all the time. Fire is a danger. It can burn whole buildings if someone is careless. But we are ready for fires. We have a fine fire department to put out the fire. And you have fire drills in your school so you know what to do. Automobiles can be dangerous too. They sometimes cause bad accidents. But we're ready. We have safety rules that car drivers and people who are walking must obey. Now, we must be ready for a new danger, the atomic bomb. First, you have to know what happens when an atomic bomb explodes. You'll know when it comes. We hope it never comes, but we must get ready. It looks something like this. There is a bright flash, brighter than the sun, brighter than anything you've ever seen. If you are not ready and did not know what to do, it could hurt you in different ways. It could knock you down hard or throw you against a tree, a wall. It is such a big explosion, it can smash some buildings and knock signboards over and break windows all over town. If you in a car like Bert, it will be much safer. You know how bad sunburn can feel. The atomic bomb flash could burn sunburn. Now, you and I don't have shells to crawl into like Bert the Turtle, so we have to cover up in our own way. First, you duck, and then you cover. And very tightly, you cover the back of your neck and your face. Duck and cover underneath a table or desk or anything else close by. In Betty's school, they're talking about the atomic bomb, too. Betty is asking her teacher, how can we tell when the atomic bomb may explode? And a teacher is explaining that there are two kinds of attack, with warning and without any warning. We think that most of the time we will be warned before the bomb explodes, so there will be time for us to get into our homes, schools, or some other safe place. Our civil defense workers and our men in uniform will do everything they can to warn us before enemy planes can bring a bomb near us. You may be in your schoolyard playing when the signal comes. That signal means to stop whatever you are doing and get to the nearest safe place fast. Always remember, the flash of an atomic bomb can come at any time, no matter where you may be. You might be out playing at home when the warning comes. Then be sure to get into the house fast, where your parents have fixed a safe place for you to go. If you are not close to home when you hear the warning, go to the nearest safe cover. Know where you are to go, or ask an older person to help you. You know the places marked with the S sign? They're safe places to go when you hear the alarm. If there is a warning, you will hear it before the bomb explodes. But sometimes, and this is very, very important, sometimes the bomb might explode without any warning. Then the first thing we would know about it would be the flash. And that means duck and cover fast, wherever you are. There's no time to look around or wait. Be like Bert. When there is a flash, duck and cover, and do it fast. Here are some older boys showing what to do if the flash comes when you are not in the classroom. This is what to do if you should be in a corridor.
Basically, duck and cover and kiss your ass goodbye. Too bad they didn't have a video back then that shows them the scene from Terminator 2.
The skeleton, yeah, that would have horrified them all.
Basically, we're screwed, children.
Nowadays, it wouldn't be duck and cover though. It would be loot and riot.
Loot and riot.
It would. If you're in the not nuclear zone, you know. I'm saying, like, then you got nuclear winter and you got all that stuff. So that's the first one up on tonight's Million Ways to Die. All right, we got a phone call. Hold on a second.
Okay, but you name me the last apocalypse movie that hasn't involved the rioting and looting and in world and horror.
I couldn't. All right, we got Zachary here. How you doing, Zachary?
I'm doing good, man. Just out here enjoying this lovely Arizona evening. How about yourself?
Doing great, Zachary. So, you've been watching the show? You into the Doomsday topic tonight?
Sir. Yeah.
You got opinion on that?
Yeah, it's a little bit complicated.
You're breaking up.
I
So
don't
make sure
really
you get
think the
close
world's
to your
gonna
mic,
end.
Zach.
I think we get some
Yep. You there, Zach?
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, a little bit. You're breaking up a little bit there, or a lot, actually. Are you on Wi-Fi or are you on data?
I'm on Wi-Fi, so.
Oh, okay. Well, just talk really clearly and loud. Go for it.
Okay. All right. As for my opinion on the world ending, I don't really think it's really going to end. I think it's really just the end of something old and really the new world. Because really, whenever you take a look in Revelations or something like that, it's just it really outlines how the end would possibly come. It's not meant to be usually taken literally, but it might be figuratively. And then there's a whole new world that actually comes out of this. I mean, you take a look at several different historical events or the like, and then you can really draw those parallels in the Bible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Even though you're breaking up, I understand totally. I can hear you. I can totally understand what you're saying. So
I'm not sure any of us can.
Oh no! I had his volume up. You are breaking up. But what he's basically saying is that that it's it's not the end. It's a new beginning. A lot of horrible crap will happen, but it'll be a new beginning. Is that what I'm getting, Zach?
Right. That's exactly what I'm saying. like I said, though, I mean, you draw different parallels from like Revelations as an example, where they talk about like the Jews will return to Israel, and you know, post World War II, you know, the state of Israel, it was created to really give a home to a lot of you know, to a lot of Jews from Europe, though, who were escaping persecution, though, from the Nazis, and you know, it would lead to the whole events that are going on right now in the Middle East.
Right.
You know, it's like I said, it's going to be the end chapter for what we've got right now, and then from those ashes, you know, we're going to transition into something different. Really.
Well, you know, one of the things when I was a kid, one of the shows that I loved, and a beautiful man, in my opinion, made this show was Star Trek. Star Trek Next Generation in particular, for, you know, I'm too young for the original Star Trek, but Star Trek Next Generation. And in that you learned we went through a Third World War in that storyline. And then we came out of it, and, you know, we continued on. So Gene Roddenberry had a beautiful vision of the future. But at the same time, he kind of like you thought we would have to go through a lot of crap before we got there.
Yeah, I fully understand. I was never big into Star Trek, but
I'm a geek, sorry, forgive me.
Likewise, man. But I'm a Star Wars geek. So.
Oh, come on! Hey, I'm a Star Wars fan too. But yeah, I think that I question it all, but I think you're right. I can't see the world totally ending. Now, if there, you know, Star Wars, you know, or Star Trek, you know, said, you know, Third World War, I think if we do go through Third World War, it will be the end. I don't know if we can survive. If it gets nuclear, I'm sorry. There's no way of surviving that. You know, but back in back in the 50s, okay, we thought Russia would have a chance to have the same kind of nuclear arsenal we were talking first strike options, okay, and the military is pushing that we could survive it. Well, luckily our people like Eisenhower and Kennedy put their foot down on that, and really Eisenhower, because if they didn't, we'd all be dead. Because even if we struck them with all that nuclear might, it would have been nuclear winter. It would have killed everybody, pretty much everybody.
Well, I can't remember who said it, but it was. I remember hearing it more than once. I don't know how the Third World War will be fought, but the fourth one will be fought with sticks and stones.
Yeah. Oh, God.
It's quoting Albert Einstein exactly.
Oh, yep.
Who it was? Okay.
Yep. Good quote. Yep, Albert Einstein. Yeah, because I'm sorry, it will. If we survive it at all, there ain't gonna be much left. My opinion is, if there was a nuclear war, we're not gonna survive it. And just so people know, I cannot see chat right now. The chat room has totally gone down on me. I can't even get it to work. So
people are mostly just making fun of you and your toothpick.
Of course. Because I'm sitting here chewing on my toothpick, going, "Where's my chat?" Well, Zach, thank you so much for calling in.
Hey, not a problem, brother. Looking forward to listening to the rest of the show.
I hope I can keep providing some entertainment. Like I said, things did not go as planned as they were supposed to, but this is a topic I feel really passionate about, that we are living in an age where we all have in the back of our minds that the world's going to end. I just think that, even for people that are not religious at all, I think it's in our subconscious. It's been drilled into there, and I think it's afterthought after all the crap we went through with the Cold War, with like the first video I just showed. So thank you, Zachary.
Not a problem, man. Take it easy.
Yeah, have a good night.
I don't think the question's how. I think it's more when, because big giant rock hurtling through space has got its name for it.
That could do it.
That is the next one up on the list of how the world could end, and that's that's what I wanted to get into tonight a little bit, because you talk about people saying that we should be, cutting budgets and cut NASA's budget, and I'm like, no, don't cut NASA's budget. And I'm not saying because I'm a geek and I want us to go explore the galaxy or some stuff like that, or go to Mars, which I think we're really getting over ourselves yet to do something like that. I mean, if you're going to send people to Mars, they're going to die right now. Just my opinion. But my opinion is that we should be funding NASA to do everything they can to researching how to stop an asteroid, to move it somewhere else. And they are, but their budget for it isn't that big. It really isn't.
If you forgive me, sir, it's a damn big sky, to quote Billy Bob.
Yep, exactly. And we need to be putting a lot more money towards that, because if it comes right now, we're screwed. We would not be able to put it together, I don't think.
I don't think we've got a chance of stopping it anyways. I mean, again, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. We've been hit before.
Yep.
And I believe the dinosaurs weren't really fond of that event. The concept of will the world end, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Will people end? Well, that's a different story. The planet's a pretty big hunk of rock, and now we're the fragile, squishy bit.
Right. Well, I will never forget. I work retail, and I'm in this store, and I meet this guy. I'm not going to say his name. That's like the end of the world. It is. It feels like you want the world to end. But this guy came in, and I started talking to him, and I noticed he had a NASA thing on. I said, "Oh, that's cool. Where'd you get that?" He goes, "Well, I work for NASA." And I'm friends with him on Facebook now, so I know he wasn't bullcrapping me. And he brought up, we just started talking, and he brought up, what? He goes, "What scares me is Apophis. Is that, I forget the dates on this one. I think I got a video up on it. I don't know. I'd have to check. I don't want to play all the videos on my list. Definitely, if you want to see all the end of the world videos I posted, go to the Game Over.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Go to the Game Over channel, and you'll see all the end of the world scenarios I highlighted. There's plenty more. But he said what really scared him is Apophis. Now, I don't know if anybody knows or comment on this, or call in the show if you know more about Apophis. I don't remember off the top of my head, but there's two different dates for it. Like, one's the first one's like it's coming really close, and the next one, like, it could hit us. And
was that another Nearbu name, or?
No, that's the name of the asteroid. I mean, it's a real thing. It's not Planet X or anything like that. That's another end of the world scenario we'll get to. No, it's a real asteroid they know was going to come close to the Earth. And do we have to just sit around and just keep waiting for it to happen? Why don't we do something? Like now there is recently NASA is going to be testing how to redirect a asteroid. They are doing that. So I'm happy that...
Yeah, we send Bruce Willis.
Yeah, we send Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck, but this time Ben Affleck should stay.
I agree.
Even though I will give him a round of applause because I did enjoy him as Batman, and I never thought I would. I will have to grudgingly admit it.
All right, I can't talk to you anymore, sorry.
Hey, I'm sorry, I'm not a Christian Bale fan. I did not like that Batman. I actually like Ben Affleck, and I don't like Ben Affleck, but I liked his performance better. We're getting off topic. We're not going to get into
Keaton
that.
from Batman.
Well, of course. Michael Keaton, I grew up with that. But we're getting off topic.
You're talking about the end of the world. The fact that there's Batman fans is close enough.
But, what are we going to do if that happens? We get into the scenario of I will say this: we are going to get back to the nuclear option later. We're going to get back to talking about possibly nuclear war because that to me is our biggest threat. The asteroid thing, though, that is not if it'll happen, like you said, it is a win. It's going to happen. It's statistically, it's going to happen at some point, sometime. So why are we sitting around, not funding NASA like we should? I hear so much crap from politicians that say cut their budget. You realize NASA's budget is such a small percentage compared to all the other crap we spend? It's nothing. It's a dime in the bucket, a penny in the bucket compared to what they spend on war and aid to other countries. I mean, it's nothing. Their budget is crap. That's why we've been hitching rides with Russia, for God's sake. We should be focusing not even on going to Mars. We should be, if we do anything, we should focus on going to the moon, back to the moon, because I want to see if aliens are there.
You're speciesist against Martians. That's what it is.
Yeah. But two, we should be focusing. NASA's efforts should be focused, and a lot of money spent on let's stop something from coming and destroying us. That seems pretty viable to me. I think everybody can get on board on that. I don't know. Am I alone on that?
Do you want to know how NASA's going to get funded?
On that one.
How's NASA going to get funded?
You want to watch NASA get funded? Look what they just did. They just put out all of their research is now available online for free.
Oh yeah, you're true.
Of projects that they will release the information on. You want NASA funded? 100% transparency. if they think they saw a UFO, then they need to release that. Stop the cover-up. Stop blurring out things. Stop any of the garbage.
Cutting the feed.
Yeah, cutting the feed. Stop all of that and have 100% transparency, and they will get funded without question.
You know, and my personal belief is, as big of a fan I am of NASA, you know, my biggest thing when I was a kid was going down to Florida and going to see the shuttle, but right before it launched, and I wanted to be an astronaut when I was a kid. So I've always had this love of NASA. My kid's bedroom looks like space. Like, it's got planets, it's got a light up moon on his wall. You know, I knew my kid would probably be obsessed with it like I am, and yeah, I probably pushed him into it, but I don't think I really did. I think it's in his blood. I love the idea of traveling in space, and you know, I've always been a fan of NASA, but at the same time, I hate NASA because I know they're covering up crap. I know we're going to get a little off topic here, but it could be part of the topic tonight, because one of the scenarios of how the world could end is alien invasion. We can get into that tonight. But they've been covering up crap. I'm sorry. It's hands down, they've been covering up stuff since the moon missions or before.
And you want NASA really funded? Let them show one credible bit of evidence of a UFO. They'll have more money than they know what to do with. Because private citizens will be donating, saying, please don't let ET kill us.
Well, you know what, though? The thing is, what if NASA's been leaking stuff here and there because they know that? They know they can't come out with it because, you know, somebody's going to lose their job.
Find the book Armada and read it. Just read Armada.
Armada. What's that one?
I can't think. Ernest Cline. It's Armada. It's a very similar topic of the NASA has been dribbling in, or not NASA, but another space agency, fictional, has been dribbling in information throughout history since the 1950s and on of the alien invasion concept used to desensitize the populace.
Yeah, my idea is that they've been dribbling it out there to try to get funding. But, you know, when it comes down to it, though, if anything, we should all be getting behind NASA. For one, to stop an asteroid, and two, this Earth only has so long, even without an asteroid. You know, this planet has a lifespan. If our race is to continue, we have to move out into space. Stephen Hawking said that. You know, a lot of scientists have said that. If we want to continue, we have to move out into space. And we should be putting all of our, all the extra money we can into stopping an asteroid and space, exploring space. That's my opinion. I know there's people that disagree with that. My in-laws do. They're like, oh, we should cut their budget, and I'm like, no, some people, they don't get it, but maybe I'm just a geek, but I really think, we should be way more putting money behind NASA, and I don't hear a damn politician in this race saying anything about that, as far as I know.
I think they've all talked about cutting it.
Yep, you got it. They've all talked about cutting it. And I think that was the last presidential election they'll talk about cutting that. And so when the asteroid comes, we can blame all those a-holes. We can blame all of them. Not NASA, because they got their budget cut. So, the panel. All right, I'm going to start with Jamie D. You there, Jamie? And I see you messing around with stuff. Maybe I shouldn't start with you yet.
I am here.
So, Jamie, what are you most afraid of? What do you think? How do you think the world could end?
Well, there's several different things that I'm worried about. In the past, I was more worried about more like asteroid type things coming down, like the dinosaurs. But recently, I've been a lot more worried about like the government actually being our doomsday. Particularly like the martial law signs that have just been printed out and were shown distributed going up to Cheyenne Mountain. There were a whole bunch of different YouTube videos showing these convoy trucks going up there. The signs have already been printed around all these bases. Well, it was online for a little bit, and by the time Jeff went to show me, every single piece of it was gone. And wow. They deleted it all. And the problem with this is they're now trying to make it to where if you have been in the military, you're considered a danger. So they want to disarm our military, veterans. basically anybody that would be able to protect us. And there's a whole lot of little things I'm noticing that are getting shoved in as this election is coming to an end that's making me very, very nervous.
Me too.
And the fact that it's not one thing to talk about, yeah, martial law may happen. Now, this means that they're going to commandeer your house. This means we will all be prisoners in our home. If we leave the house, we're considered a threat, and they can shoot us. They can take over our home to barricade.
Take our guns.
They're going to take your guns.
All you got to do is Google Agenda 21 if you want to give yourself nightmares.
Yeah.
Oh,
God,
shit.
yeah.
And it's just terrifying. And it's one thing to talk about it, but it was like 2 weeks when Obama had made that claim about something. And then like 2 Fridays later, all these signs, and these were, how many truckloads do you think? How many signs was it, Jeff? He has his headphones on. It was enough that it was, why would they spend all of our tax money, our taxpayer money, to print this stuff out if they have no intention of using it?
Well, it's like, I don't know how many times, I mean, being a big Art Bell listener, and I listen to all the old episodes. Truckloads. Well, you know, the thing always would come up, I swear, like, it'd be almost every 3 years on Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell would be like, oh, the government just ordered, like, 300,000 body bags or something like that. Or
exactly, it's the body bags and the places to now store all the bodies. They now have all these areas opened up for storing dead people.
Yeah, well, the FEMA camps. My friend, I knew Jen would bring that up because I'm sure her and Kevin post stuff on this all the time. They're from Paraversal Universe. That's Jen Malik and Kevin Malik. She posted the FEMA camps. Yeah, I've been looking at the FEMA camps since the 90s. I used to go to this coffee place. You know, it was a restaurant, but everybody went there to drink coffee because the food sucked. And there would always, I swear, I ran into the most paranoid old men in the world, and they taught me a lot. They taught me about the FEMA camps. They taught me about all these different conspiracy theories when I was just a little 17-year-old, you know, I thought I knew it all kind of punk. And they showed me, they really did teach me a lot. These guys are some paranoid individuals. I went there for coffee. I don't know how we ended up talking, but I'm not talking about just one guy. I'm talking about different guys that didn't even know each other. Tell me about the FEMA camps and all this stuff. And it got me interested. It got me scared too.
It's easy to look at why, back to the current election conundrum we've got, why they'd be concerned with it, because just the threat of candidate, name it, getting elected might cause a riot, might cause massive riots throughout multiple cities. Exactly. If Trump gets in, you're going to have inner cities explode across the nation in horrible, massive riots. If Hillary gets in, Bubba's coming down out of the hill to protect his guns. And if Gary Johnson gets in, yeah.
Oh, my God.
So it'll be a combination of the two.
I would say I'm a libertarian, but I'm not happy with Gary Johnson. I will say that right now.
Again, they all suck. Every single candidate.
Yeah, we're so screwed. That's what I say. And that's one of the reasons it feels like, you know, I belong to a lot of different YouTube paranormal pages, UFO pages, conspiracy pages. So some days I wish I just had a normal Facebook that I didn't wake up every day and pop it open, find a new way we're going to die. Because that's what I feel like every day. I open up Facebook, I find a new way we're going to die. And it's just not Facebook. I go to Yahoo News in the morning, and I swear there's at least one article on there about something that scares the crap out of me. Like, you know, recently with China and the South China Sea, you know, them trying to make a bigger claim to it. And, us running our ships right on in and like, hello, come shoot at us. Let's start nuclear war. Come on. You know, it's stuff like that that's going on right now in the world. What's going on in us, in Syria, you know, with, you know, I'm sorry. I don't like our president, but guess what? I didn't like any of the presidents I've had since I've been alive. Okay, this administration has run guns to rebels, they call them, in Syria. These rebels are ISIS now. Okay, that's what they are. And just because we don't like Assad, and guess who is on sides with Assad? Russia, and now China too, by the way. And so this is all piling up to one big pile of crap that's going to be landed on our doorstep with whatever idiot becomes president, and it's going to blow up in our face. Okay, there's a reason Benghazi. I'm sorry. I know I have friends that are Hillary Clinton supporters. Please don't hate me for saying this, but this is what I feel is the truth. Benghazi was their embassy as a front to run run weapons, because there's been a lot of drug running with this government too, but run weapons to these rebels, and that's why we didn't pull out. All the other countries pulled out of Benghazi. We stayed.
It's not much of a theory anymore. They've got documents on it now.
Yeah, we stayed because we wanted to run. We were running guns, and that's why we did it. To people, rebels. They're not rebels. They're terrorists. Okay, and we shouldn't be. This is the libertarian side of me. So we should stay the hell out of all those situations. They all want to go kill themselves. Let them go kill themselves. Whatever. We're not cleaning up the mess. We're not getting involved. When we get involved, crapola gets worse. I'm trying not to cuss.
Big business, though, man.
Yeah, it is military-industrial complex. Eisenhower warned us of this when he left office. And if there's a way we're going to die, again, I'm going right back. My number one theory is nuclear war. We had it as a deterrent. The nuke option. If we nuke you, you were all going to die. Oh, we got a call. All right, it's Sandy. Hold on a second. You there, Sandy?
I'm here.
So Sandy, you got an opinion on Doomsday?
Oh yeah, well see, I'm a history major, so this is easy for me.
Oh, awesome.
Okay, because if you look back in time and back in history, and you really have to think about it, a lot of the times they thought that the end of the world was coming when there was a pandemic. So think about the bubonic plague, cholera, typhoid, all these diseases that took out hundreds of thousands of people and millions of people. They felt that, take for instance the Aztecs. They were only conquered because they were given a disease. And these diseases wiped them out, and they were able to conquer them easily. My whole thought process is that we don't think enough about global pandemics. We don't think enough about, with air travel. It's easy now to go from A to point B. You don't know who you're sitting next to, and all they got to do is cough. And all it takes is one to cause massive global panic. And between the disease and global panic, you're talking about the end of the world.
Oh, yeah. My favorite Stephen King book is The Stand.
That's what I was just going to say, The Stand.
Yeah, we are living in the world where danger, and it's not just the flu bug that can just mutate on its own. It's because we got governments, including our own, biologically engineering their own weapons of mass destruction, which are these viruses that could just wipe everybody out. And
well, those are scary enough, but superbugs just generated from the overuse of antibiotics. That alone can do it.
Yep.
In The Stand, it was a military virus that got out, So, but it's us playing with crap, but we're not supposed to for no good reason, Well, why are we doing it? Sandy, I don't know if you're of the opinion that they're going to purposely release a virus they think they can control. Is that what you're kind of getting at?
Well, I do believe that they have tried. I do believe that is what's tried. I do believe that, especially when these exotic diseases just show up out of nowhere. One moment they were there, the next moment, and then all of a sudden they disappear. They kind of come in and they're out really fast.
Well,
I think that's distracting us from something.
True. That sometimes I think they are distraction plays. The whole Ebola thing, I think, was a huge distraction play.
Yeah.
Because we really didn't have to be as scared as they wanted us to be. It's not always distraction. It's just really good ratings.
And the new one, Zika.
Yep, new one, Zika, which is, it's crazy. I had a friend. She went for her honeymoon, down to Mexico, came back, and she wants to have a baby, okay? And she wanted to get tested. You know how many loopholes they have where she can't get tested? They won't just test her for it. So if we're really that worried about it, can't she just go get a test for it? No. There's some bureaucracy, I don't understand it all, involved where she couldn't just get tested for it. Because her husband's not showing symptoms, she's not showing symptoms, so we're not going to test you. That's a bunch of crap from everything I hear. You might not show any symptoms, but you're carrying it, and your baby is going to have a shrunken head.
Right. And that's historically, I mean, when we look at history, disease has been the one thing that's taken out entire civilization.
Oh, yeah. I mean, God.
So, and to them, that was the end of the world.
Spanish flu wasn't that far in the past.
Nope. What was that, 1908?
In the 20s.
Or 1919, I think. Yeah, 1920s. Yeah, I mean, it's just another one of not, if it's going to happen, it's more a matter of when it's going to happen.
Right. I mean, I think that every day, and I sound like a conspiracy theory.
Well, we all do on this show. Don't worry about it.
This is tinfoil hat night. Put it on.
Yep.
But I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, they use the public as testing ground. They have.
Yeah.
And I mean, like the what do they call them? Chemtrails.
You're gonna say chemtrail.
And now I read a book, and it's called the Fourth Horseman.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually managed to do an entire pandemic based on one light bulb. And if somebody can do that, writing a book, I think that there are smart people out there that know smart ways to do the same exact thing.
Well, I remember, I've been a big one, since the 90s when I first started noticing these. I'm sorry, they're chemical trails in the sky. They're doing these weird patterns. Like some people say it's all about weather control. Some people say it's all about making us sick. I don't know. I mean, if it was about making us sick, it's been going on a long time. I don't know. We be getting sick because they are doing weather control, and it just has bad side effects of whatever they're using to spray. I'm not a chemtrail expert. It's just something that's interested me over the years and scares the crap out of me, and I definitely think there's a lot of evidence that it's real. Hell, they just came out, the CIA, one of the people in the CIA, I can't remember his name, came out and said that they are testing that, doing dispersal rates in the sky.
Well, you can go all the way back to the 1960s. Fort Wayne, Indiana, not that awful far from us, like between 63 or 4 and 66 or 67. The government was like crop dusting the city with radioactive zinc.
Yeah.
To test the radioactive effects on the populace. And Fort Wayne, Indiana, still to this day has one of the higher rates of birth defects in the nation.
So we should call one of the scenarios of the end of the world is your government's out to kill you. Because they just do stupid crap like this without us knowing, without anybody's permission, and they think they give themselves permission to test crap like this on us. And I think Sandy calling in, thank you so much for calling in, Sandy. Your point about an epidemic, that's another one on my list tonight. It's definitely something we should be worried about.
It's after 11. We got to tick through this list faster, man.
I know.
So many ways to die.
There's so many ways to die. I won't get through all of them tonight. And if you have one you want to add in, please call in tonight.
Oh dear, Jeff is busting out a go bag right here.
What's that? So Sandy, do you do anything? Do you think there's anything people can do to prepare for an epidemic?
To be honest with you, I mean that's kind of hard to say because
we're just screwed. That's what it is.
I don't think even the Doomsday preppers would have any safety.
What?
It's antibiotic resistant, so
right.
I don't think
it was under you, not me.
Unless it's like The Stand, and the only people that survive are some of the people that are somehow immune to whatever happens out there.
Right.
Well, I think that's
what they'll think, at least.
That's why, yeah.
No, you just won the lottery, assholes, and have a good time enjoying the stench of everybody's dead bodies and the world falling apart.
Avoid churches and stadiums; they will smell bad.
Well, thank you, Sandy, for calling in.
Yep, not a problem. You have a really good evening.
You too, hon.
Thank you.
That's why you gotta have one of these.
Well, that's for Taco Tuesday.
Oh my God. But that's not gonna stop. That's not gonna stop a virus. I'm sorry. You know.
Well, no, but it will stop, like,
biological warfare, maybe.
Fire, like, mostly if you're going through some, it depends what filter you put in it, and they have different level filters you can put in, but mostly, like, if you're don't want to get exposed to smoke or whatever.
Yeah, have you seen a full containment hazmat suit? It's not something that's readily available, and it's not something you're going to want to be in for more than 3 minutes.
I worked at the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, working in the clean rooms, and we had to suit up in that every day.
Now, I had a mask like that, but it had a bong attached to it. So I don't know if that would help me any.
Explains so much.
that was a long time ago. We had to throw it out because too many people puked in it.
It's like last week.
Ew.
15 minutes doesn't count as a long time, Jason.
Hey, no, it was a long time ago, man. Come on.
Ew.
Talking 17 years ago, man.
Oh, I never heard of that.
Oh yeah. Got my first apartment, and that was me and my roommate. Was like, yeah, we're gonna buy this. It's gonna be cool. Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was not cool at all. Everybody got sick trying to do it.
That's why you just get the good old Alhambra bottle out in the swimming pool. Gravity.
Oh, how far downhill the show. Okay.
All right. So, anyways.
So yeah, I think that
top 10 ways to protect yourself in a disaster. Go.
Read them off. You got it? You're gonna read off us a list?
I don't have a list. I want you guys to go. What would you do in a disaster? What would you grab? What would you have in your go bag? What do you find important to have in your go bag?
Well, a gun.
Ballistic currency.
Okay.
And what? Ballistic currency, exactly.
And something like gold, something where currency can be used anywhere.
I'll tell you.
I don't know about the gold thing. Hold it really quick. Everybody say, oh, gold, have gold. You know what? I think it's more going to be barter. Because
it will be barter too, but after a while, gold will become a main.
Not right away, because people.
That'll be some time. Yeah. There was a guy from I want to say Bosnia, that his currency that kept him and his family alive for quite a long time when they were in a very bad situation was toothpaste and deodorant.
Yep.
Or even
because
seeds.
people very happily would like to feel that little bit of human for a while. Soap, toothpaste, deodorant, toilet paper, those kind of things that become an invaluable currency very, very quickly in a bad situation.
You got it. No,
that's very true. Seeds, also having seed packets.
Alcohol is another big one.
Yep, and smokes, buddy. There's going to be some nicotine-fiending people when their cigarettes run out.
Do you know another one he had on his list that was funny was gravy. Cans of gravy.
Really?
Yeah, his little bit on it was that you can make some pretty horrible-tasting roadkill palatable by just a big can of pre-made gravy.
I hate gravy, though. I'd be the one to be like, no, I'll just eat the nasty roadkill.
I'll eat the possum asshole without. Thank you.
No, what I was going to say, I'm a big Supernatural fan, and Richard Udland, the guy played he ends up being God. Sorry if I spoiled that for people, but he was like the guy who wrote the books, the Supernatural books in the show. For people who are fans of the show Supernatural, I named my son Dean, if that tells you how big of a fan I am. But he in one of the scenes, they go into the future and it's a doomsday's happened basically, and it's the survivors, and he tells Dean, who's time traveling, tells him, get stock up on toilet paper because man, it's gold here. That's exactly it. One of the things somebody again, good Jennifer, always has good points in the chat room. I noticed. I'm not trying to just notice Jennifer. She just made some good points. She goes, "What about doomsday symbolism?" And when she said that, it brings to mind is the Denver airport. I should have had a video of that talking about Doomsday. I should have
Oh,
a video
the
of that.
mural. Are you talking about the mural on the wall with the
yeah.
animals and the fire?
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Maybe I should look that up because
That freaks me the F out.
first time I ever saw that. Let me look it up.
That freaks me out.
Yeah. First I type in Denver. You want to know the first thing that comes up? Denver airport conspiracy. The first thing that comes up. All right, Denver. What mural you think? Yeah, Denver
Good thing
murals.
Google doesn't pay attention to your searches or anything.
Well, there's a million people out there looking this crap up every day. Bunch of paranoid people. All right, here we go. I don't know. I hadn't got to research these videos. Let me find a short one. I don't want to pick a really long one. Maybe I can find a short video on it. 4 minutes and 23 seconds so far. 4 minutes and 11 seconds.
I don't think y'all can see that.
All right. Let me get my screen share up. Hold on. I can't see it right now because I'm in my YouTube world. All right, hold on. This seems like a shorter video. This is from InfoWars. All right, button of echo coming down here. Oh, come on.
Ever seen the mural? Here, so I come through and check it out every now and then. I'm taking pictures. I read about it online. Looked it up.
What do you think it means?
I can only tell you what I read. Basically, it seems like there's a soldier cutting through the dove of peace, and his sword is an Arabian sword. I'm not sure about the women and the angel type things. And the towers here, very familiar to a lot of people. Kind of look like 911 towers. So I don't know. Strange thing to have in this airport.
What are your thoughts when you see something like this?
I think it's very well done. It's impactful. Color scheme's great. Theme seems a little austere for an airport, but
You don't think there's a nefarious hidden agenda, hidden meaning behind it or anything like that?
yeah, I don't know. I've heard that theory a lot. Maybe not underground prisons under Denver.
Well, those are chamber
all that
tunnels.
stuff. Yeah. Could be. I'm a little skeptical.
So this is the first time you've ever seen this mural?
Yeah, the first time I've ever seen it.
Let's take a look. I mean, what are your thoughts when you look at something like that? Do you think it's kind of an odd mural to be put in an airport? Or
Not necessarily. I think it explains a lot.
okay, such as?
Such as just, I mean, America and everything else. There's a lot going on in the world right now, and it pretty much shows what's going on. There's a night, he's taking care of things. There's people that are suffering, and he looks like he's taking over and taking care of it.
So he's.
Oh dear.
Never trust anybody with blue hair.
Hey now.
Seen the mural?
I've seen it on the internet.
So, all right, so you've seen it on the internet, and I saw you turn the corner. You're like, oh my God, here it is. So, all right. So, what are your thoughts on it?
I've heard some theories where there's like an underground facility in this airport. It's just like really dark and kind of scary looking.
It is a little creepy looking. Yeah.
Machine gun wielding
And the crying innocence in the background. Yeah, it's
kind of creepy. Fleeing? That's
yeah.
real creepy.
Oh, it's just, I mean, this is kind of sad, obviously.
Just
Some
that part
kid who
sad?
died in
No.
Auschwitz, 14 years old.
Yeah.
That, basically their childhood was taken away from them through everything they went through, it looks like. They hate enemies. They hope that one day they'll be able to wake up and laugh again. It's sad that there's people out there that think like that.
Some people say it's put here to kind of distract people from what really goes on in DIA.
Don't you think it's an odd place to put a mural like this in an international airport? I mean, it's kind of weird, isn't it?
It is like.
If you wanted to send a message to someone, I mean, it's kind of the best place.
So do you think this is more of an artistic endeavor, with the symbolism and everything? This guy kind of looks like a Nazi, but is there any hidden meanings, a dark hidden meaning, or is this more kind of a artistic piece,
I'm not someone who looks at things in a dark, hidden type of way, so to me, I don't look at it like that. The most disturbing piece of this whole thing is just that. That's what gets me the most.
What about the rumors that there's a whole underground type of bunker here? Have you heard those as well?
Those,
Do you think there's any truth to that?
definitely possible, more possible than what they give you on the news.
It looks funny the way that you can see when you're coming in. you can see that there's construction's been over for years here, but there's construction everywhere, all over, going on the grounds of the airport. Constantly, and you can see them actually working up, because once it's a hill and it'll have a road that goes around it, and you come back a year later and there's 2 roads because the hills kind of moved up, as if the hills are expanding upwards.
Do you think it's an odd place to have a mural like this in an international airport?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know what its place is here or why it's here. It's definitely not something you expect to see walking through an airport, though.
I hear you.
So.
I'm glad I picked this video. I didn't never watched it before, but it was great because of people's reactions to it.
That chick was priceless.
Oh, yeah.
Bless her heart.
That's a full-on like end of times mural right there.
It
end
is.
of days mural.
It is. I mean, come on. I mean, what drugs was a person doing? If this was just an artist they picked and he's gonna go out and just make a mural about the end of the world, and okay, but why did they go? Oh, yeah, let's approve that. Let's put that up in the airport.
And why would life be like slowly replicating parts of it?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never understood it. I've never understood why that would be there.
I wish they would paint over it.
I've heard that I don't know if this is true, but I've heard that they have removed some of the murals. I don't know if that's true, or they've tried to lessen it. I don't know.
Yeah, they said that on some documentary before, but remember it had like all the deers and the goats like running like hell, and all the flames of fire like chasing them out, and the whole world was like being sucked in by like hellfire. It was
It's
horrible.
easy to get rid of it. Proclaim it's offensive to insert random group here, and then it'll go away.
I don't know. I think they probably offend a lot of people with that mural. I don't know. To me, it's like, I've heard all the conspiracy theories, and I've heard about the being a secret underground base, which I definitely think is a huge possibility. I mean, an airport would be a great place to put something like that. They went way over budget with that airport, like huge, way over budget.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's been done. It's been done for years, but they're still doing construction, and there's definitely evidence there's something under the airport. And I've heard aliens are there. I've heard all kinds of stuff, and I've heard that the mural's there because it's what it is open symbology, symbolism by the Illuminati or the New World Order or whatever, that they basically are wagging they're basically putting their dicks in our face. in the sense, and saying, ha ha ha, you guys are too stupid to realize what we're doing. That's always been my thought of it.
And then in plain sight.
Right, and then nobody will take it seriously. Exactly. I don't know. I don't know what to believe in this mysterious universe of the World Wide Web of Weird. This whole show is a World Wide Web of Weird tonight. I'll tell you what. I don't know. I think our big focus tonight has been, is our government out to kill us? Are they out to kill us? It doesn't matter if we get Clinton or if we get Trump. Either one, are they going to off us once they get in office? Because it has nothing really to do with them. They're just pawns in some bigger scheme to basically start World War III and throw us into FEMA camps and take our guns and do stuff. I'm not trying to joke on anybody who believes this. Just trust me on this. I'm not, because I do take this stuff very seriously. But I'm just so overwhelmed with seeing this crap every day. There's some days I don't even want to get on Facebook, because I made the mistake of subscribing to so many different conspiracy sites and paranormal sites that it's depressing. I have children. I want them to have a future. I want them to have Star Trek, with spaceships and holographic rooms and replicators where they go, I want this, and boom, 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 and then boom, there it is, and and nobody's in the acquisition for money, and I know Todd's going to probably jump in on that one, but I'm not, Star Trek's a bit of a socialist kind of an idea.
I was leaving it alone. It was too easy.
Yeah, I know. But I like the idea of us striving to be better, and I always loved Star Trek because of that beautiful vision Gene Roddenberry had of the future. I just have my doubts we'll ever get there. Whenever I open up Facebook every day, I have serious doubts we're ever going to get there. I don't know. It all scares the crap out of me. And then let's go ahead and open up the topic. Bill, you've been quiet tonight. Bill, what's your thoughts on Doomsday? You ever think? I see you as a person who doesn't think about it very much.
Try not to.
No, I know you probably try not to, but what do you think? Do you think that any of these things are possible? I mean, we're just talking. We're all friends here. Do you fear any of it?
You know,
Come join the dark side.
The whole asteroid thing. I mean, like you say, it's not a matter of if, it's when. You know, it will happen. And, I mean, eventually, I'm sure one's going to hit the planet and, you know, take us all out, you know, or at least most of us. And, you know, the whole nuclear thing could be a possibility. But I always think, like Sandy was saying, that because I've always thought for the longest time that, you know, I mean, I don't think the Earth itself is going to be destroyed in any way. It'll just keep flying through space, and, you know, and things might just start over again. But I always think it's not going to be the big things that we think it's going to be, like the giant asteroid or the giant nuclear war. More a small thing like a tiny little virus that we can't stop, and it kills people quickly and spreads quickly, and they won't be able to find a cure for it in time, and it'll just wipe out, you know.
Or they'll have a cure for it and they just won't give it to anybody.
I always think
To the highest bidder.
with all those scenarios, I always think too that what's probably going to happen, well, unless it's an asteroid that wipes out the entire planet, is basically the world will go back to like caveman days, because if atomic bombs go off, it's going to be, you know, the major cities and the major countries, and the only people that will be left are a few people here and there that are like, you know, the few little tribes in really remote areas that don't get affected by it. And
There's
you know,
kind of some evidence that the world has had a reset button a couple times when you look at the technology of the ancients that kind of went away. The technology in Egypt, the technologies in Rome that kind of vanished and became forgotten.
yeah, and that's what I always think, that, you know, something will happen and it will end up, you know, the only people that will be left on the planet will be a few small little tribes here and there in some little remote corner of the world, and it'll just start all over again from scratch, you know, where people will be, you know, running around, you know, with rocks and sticks and, you know.
Well, you want to talk about that? You know, a show I really liked. It only had its good moments, and it went downhill, and it came back. Was Revolution. You know, something that, you know, that ended up being nanonites somehow that took out the whole everybody's power, which maybe that's a possibility. Or would we have some kind of huge, you know, EMP or solar event? It takes out the power in most of the world. You know, how quickly would the world fall apart if, you know, we had no electricity or electronics? I say very quickly. And the only people that are going to really be up to survive this are the Amish.
There's another show I just watched recently with something similar where they cryogenically froze everybody for 3,000 years, and they came back and found that everybody was like mutated, and I gotta find what the name of that show is now. That's one you'd like.
Futurama.
What was it?
Futurama.
That too.
Or they freeze somebody for 500 years. He comes back to find out the world's still going, but everybody's a bunch of frickin' idiots. Idiocracy. Then you would just wish the world would end.
Watering plants with Gatorade.
Yeah, it has electrolytes.
Bro.
Wayward Pines. Wayward Pines is the name of the show.
Oh, is that what Wayward Pines is about?
Yeah.
See, I was seeing the previews. I'm like, this looks really interesting, but I had no idea what the hell's going on in the previews.
Luckily, I was able to spoil it for you.
Oh, you just totally spoiled it, jerk. I probably, you know how many times I've spoiled stuff on this show?
For me, specifically.
Sorry. But, you know, I think if we suddenly lost all of our electronics, though, I think stuff would get really crazy real fast.
Some people would survive, but an EMP would screw up the planet real good.
Yeah. And, I mean...
That doesn't have to be a weapon. That could be an EMP from our own sun.
That's right. Solar event. That's another, not a matter of, you know, if, another matter of when. You know, that's another ticking time bomb that we have to...
Once again, like, you know, it'll be like, within a short period of time, it'll be like we're back in the Stone Age, you know, if all the technology goes away and we're just, you know, people will be just living off the land and doing what they can.
You know, though, that wasn't that far back in our past. Just 100 years or more that people were cooking on fire and getting around by horse. So, you know, it's our modern society that has become so dependent on things. To toot my own horn, beep, beep, I could do okay. I could survive. I spent enough time in the woods and camping and doing all that stuff, and heck, even Civil War reenacting and that I did when I was younger. I've got the concept of how to survive. But you get into a city, and they think meat comes from a package.
Yep. That's what I've always said. I've always said, when I was younger, I wanted to live in a big city. As I got older and more paranoid, and even before 9/11, I was like, cities are death traps. They're literally death traps, and I don't want to be in one, at all. I mean, the Stand did that to me from Stephen King. You read, if anybody's read the book or seen the miniseries, they're in New York and they have to go through a tunnel to get out. I'm saying, like, they have to go through a tunnel of dead bodies and stuff. It's like they're trapped.
Get out.
Well, it sounds morbid, but that was one of the jokes we used to make on the whole zombie survival and zombie prep thing. But we talked realistically about that. It's not necessarily the waves of living dead. It's the waves of hungry people coming out of these major cities to take whatever somebody might have. When you've got a horde of 500 people coming to your small town,
it would be like the zombie apocalypse.
Exactly.
Or it'd be people looking for, they're going out of their minds because they can't hunt Pokemon anymore, They're just going to lose it.
That would be horrible.
Stephen King wrote another good book called Cell, where the cell phone sales, that's coming out in a movie soon, turned everybody into kind of like violent zombie-like people, and they started attacking. If that happened, we'd all be screwed because almost everybody's got a cell phone. Did
he write that before or after the Doctor Who episode?
Before.
Okay.
I always, when I said that, I was like, oh, they totally ripped that off of Stephen King. But again, we've become so dependent, and I love the commercials of the people who are like, they lose their internet and they're like going nuts. You ever seen those commercials? I'll admit, I'm dependent. I have become so dependent on the internet, and I'm totally hooked to my cell phone, and I think about it every day. I'm like, I need to get away from this.
Jason, I think you've come up with an ITC show topic of asking the other side how the world's going to end.
We have asked that question. We have on a number of, I think, of times, haven't we, Bill?
Yeah.
Yeah, they seem to be kind of silent on that topic.
Yeah, that's no fair.
I know. Have you guys? You guys? That's a good question. During your, we got Jamie, Bill, and Rob, all people who do instrumental transcommunication with spirit boxes. That question's come up during sessions. Have you guys think you've gotten any responses to that?
I've personally noticed that anytime I try to ask any sort of a question like, will they find this? Will this happen? They either say secret or they won't answer. I don't think they do so good at like fortune telling, but if it's something that's already out there and going on, however they know about this stuff, they relay it back. Like, I don't know how it works, but I've never had luck at any sort of like foretelling the future.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've always thought that, spirits, they're no more of, fortune tellers or future predictors than us living. I don't think they have any insight of, what's going to happen in the future any more than we do, That's more, asking, that's why I don't really ask those questions of the spirits, actually.
I don't know, though. When you start reading Book of Revelations, it talks about the dead rising, and now there's a whole lot more, like Jason said, instances of possession and everything, and a lot more people making contacts on spirit boxes or any other forms of contact with the paranormal. So
it would be an interesting experiment to try, though.
Yeah.
I'd love to.
Well, here's a plug. Next week is the ITC Collective Show. So maybe it's open. It's gonna be open lines. We will have. I'm hoping to have a first half hour of that show with George Brown, the inventor of the GeoBox, on the phone. Not on Hangouts. He doesn't have a system to do Hangouts, but I've talked him into coming on the phone. So we'll talk about that.
Nice.
But maybe in our experiments tonight we'll try that. You know, another thing that we haven't gotten tonight is, are we killing our planet? You know, we talk about global warming, you know, being the big issue. And Todd, you just posted the whole thing about Al Gore being paid
don't
off.
get me started on this topic.
Oh, I know. And you know, before
I was
global
raging.
warming, well, before global warming, what was it in the 70s?
It was global freezing.
Yep, it was.
The ozone, where it's going to be an ice ball planet, and we're facing a new ice age.
You know, so again, it's our media, you know, totally like setting us up. Excuse me, got a frog in my throat here. But setting us up for, you know, we're all gonna die. this idea that we are the doomsday generation. Like I said, is it backlash from the 50s and the nuclear, you know, scare that we're always being faced with these from our media and, you know, from all around us, that somehow, some way, we're not going to make it. We're going to die. We're killing our planet. I do believe we're killing our planet in some ways. Now, I don't want to global warming, whatever. I think there's a lot of crap in that, a lot of political motivation and all that. But when it comes to our oceans, I mean, we have whole dead zones in our oceans. People are killing our planet. It's the corporations. They want to yell at us about, here I am coughing, can't even breathe. I'm talking about pollution. But, you know, corporations are killing our planet. They blame us. They want to tell us to stop using the ozone sprayers, the hairspray, killing the ozone. Well,
if I thought for a second we could get global warming with aerosol cans, I'd be outside of the case of spray paint, because
I'd be out there every winter.
It's chilly.
Yeah, I'd be out there every winter. But the thing is, they go and try to blame us, like we need to do something to stop it. But at the same time, it's the message coming across. It's the big corporations that are killing our planet. They're poisoning our oceans. For one, there's whole dead zones.
When the whole global warming panic was going on, you know that once upon a time I was dumb enough to be really involved in politics, and I got a thing that was sent to me, an offer that for $500 I could be a certified certifier, that I could go to companies and certify them as a green company and sell them a certificate to certify them as a green company. And it came with a booklet to tell them how far away the garbage can should be from the door to be certified a green company, and all kinds of weird, stupid little things. And it went along with the cap and trade, but it was selling to companies for thousands of dollars,
of course,
a piece of paper to certify them as a environmentally friendly company. And of course I had to send a portion of that back to the company that was providing these certificates. But I mean, that's the kind of thing that was going on. It was purely a profit-making panic.
And it still is. It still is. It's still a lot of profit, but at the same time, are we doing anything to fix the real problems that are going on? You know, I truly believe we are killing our planet, especially when it comes to our oceans. I mean, like I said, there's parts of our oceans that have zero oxygen in them. We've just totally obliterated it. And then you talk about Fukushima, you know, irradiating our waters after the earthquake and tsunami that destroyed, you know, a power plant and dumped a bunch of radioactive material.
See, we don't even have to worry about the government coming to get it. It's our own damn planet that's trying to take us out.
True. Back to the viruses, you know.
Well, and the virus that emerges from the rainforest.
Man, I got a frog in my throat tonight. Oy.
Some virus that the government makes, and it.
I think Jason's been poisoned by Nestle. That only wants to sell bottled water, and it's that bottled water that's killing him.
Exactly.
No, that's 7-Up. Man, I got such a frog in my throat. It's hard for me to get to the next point I wanted to get to before we run out of time, because we got like 18 minutes or so. Yeah, so we got the global warming. They got the, you know, like I said, in the 70s they had the ice age we had to be scared of. Who knows what to believe? One study says this, another study says that. But are we doing a damn thing to really frickin' change anything or stop anything? You know, it doesn't seem like it. You know, it seems like you just getting more and more bad news about our environment every day. I mean, you talk about then killing off. I'm a big hater on Montecito and the genetically engineering.
Would be Monsanto for
Monsanto,
people that don't speak Jason.
Yeah, I butcher everything. Monsanto, whatever. Bastards is what I call them. You know, genetically, you know, are they killing off our bee population with their genetically modified plants? You know, stuff like that. You know, we lose the bees, we lose our food. That kind of deal. You know, that's another end of the world scenario I see.
If we lose our bees, we lose everything.
Seinfeld even made a movie whining about that. So
Really?
you haven't seen the B movie?
No. Oh, the B movie. Is that what that? Oh, yeah. I'm like thinking. I'm picturing Seinfeld like making some documentary. I forgot the B movie. So another way to die is us just killing ourselves off because we are treating our planet like complete crap.
Like
You can't let tonight go though without talking about CERN replicating your experience of tearing a hole in the universe.
Yes, as we say, I like to tear a hole in the universe every night after you do this show. Some way or some screw up, but they are really tearing a hole in the universe. Could they blow us up? They were going to build an even bigger collider in Texas years ago, and there was some thought, and my dad was really into a book, a fictional book about that really talked about they built it and did almost destroy the world in the book. Can CERN actually rip a hole in the universe on this planet? Can they do something really dangerous? I love science. I want to see the experiments happen and all that. But at the same time, are they going to really let the genie out of the bottle, which is, like the nuclear bomb? Are they going to do something that's going to just, wow, we didn't see that coming?
And there's the next thing to make your skull pop when you think about it. How long has CERN been doing their experiments? Now, how long have we seen a major increase in paranormal activity? And now you've got a company trying to build a train tunnel to hell. So,
right, are we our own scientists through their own, mad scientist ways going to destroy us? Another the list. We should have kept count of all the ways, but the thing is, there's so many ways, and like I said, we're bombarded with it every day. I want to show something. This is something that affected me. You want to talk about Doomsday? I'm going to get the share screen back up because I wanted to play this before we get over to the night. Something affected me. This came out the year I was born. Let me make sure I got it on my playlist. This came out in 1979, I believe. And they replayed this, almost all. I don't know how many times they replayed this through the 80s. And I bet anybody that's my age or older is going to be like, oh, I saw that. And I'm not going to play. It's like 9 minutes long. I'm not going to play the whole thing. But when you see it, you'll know. Nostradamus. Now, he predicted, total end of the world scenario.
Everything or nothing.
Yeah. And this was a Nostradamus special called The Man Who Sees Tomorrow, I think part 2. Because they had to do a second part about that. Well, it ended already.
Nostradamus is also said to have written of the American response.
The trumpet shakes with great discord. An agreement broken. Lifting the face to heaven, the bloody mouth will swim in the blood. Overcome, the great nation is uncertain. Shortly before the sun, a battle is engaged. Then will come the great tumult. Warfare on a greater scale than ever before. Explosions.
Now, this was 1979. Okay. Here's the guy, of course, in a turban. It's the Middle East. This is about Nostradamus. I don't know how many times this was replayed in my childhood. Like, I swear it'd be on every other week on some channel.
Oh, I saw it.
Oh, everybody saw it. You couldn't have missed it because they replayed this over and over again. But what's this guy in the turban doing? Where's he attacking? Look, right there. Right there. What's that? What's that? Right there. Is that New York? All right.
There will be a great onslaught. There will be terror.
This is why Iran can't have nuclear weapons.
Garden of the world, the new city in the way of the man-made mountains, shall be seized on and plunged into ferment.
Again, Nostradamus suggests that New York, with its skyscrapers, its man-made mountains, will be a nuclear target.
Now, they go on the premise that it'll be a nuclear target. Does he say nuclear? No, there wasn't nuclear as a war. But he does say that, you know, in a way that if this was New York, he doesn't say New York. You know, but man, what they're getting at here to me was almost telling the future of maybe 9/11, not nuclear.
Wasn't that where they tied it to?
Eventually, they did. You know, it wasn't nuclear, but they did attack the skyscrapers, and there was a lot of ferment. You know, again, this whole, like, I swear, it's purposely we've been psychologically built up for this crap. Somehow, some way, I don't know, but this haunted me as a child, seeing this stuff. Like, it scared the crap out of me. My mom had like the Nostradamus books and stuff like that, like, and I read them. You know, I was a weird kid. I read Chariots of the Gods when I was 10. I think I was reading the Nostradamus books before that because of these kind of specials. You know, so when I was a kid, I was absolutely fascinated with, you know, doomsday crap, and I had me convinced as a child seeing this kind of stuff that I'm probably not going to see the, you know, the age of 50. The world's going to
There's a Time Life book series on this.
Oh God, yeah, there was. You know, I'm not going to play this whole video, but I wanted to play that to bring back fond memories of my childhood. But this is what I'm talking about. We live in a generation obsessed with doomsday. Like, and why? Are we, you know, can't we have beautiful visions of the future that are require us to picture us being?
I don't think it's now, though. And I'm getting echo.
Oh, let's let that back up. Sorry, it's gone.
I think it was before, because predicting the end of the world has kind of existed for, well, history.
Ever.
I mean, with Aztecs and on and on.
Like the Mayan calendars, that just ended on like one day, remember?
Sure, because it ran out. But
yeah.
Now in what, at the age of Aquarius, which is where they were talking about the big change, isn't that just recently passed or coming very soon?
Yeah, but what does that mean? Everything's so damn vague. You know, like, oh, no, the world's going to end on this date at this time. This is how it's going to end. Oh, all right, so we'll get past that one. There's some other ones I want to get to. We got like 9 minutes left. How about AI? What's your guys' thoughts on artificial intelligence, the Terminator?
That's it, man. Game over, man.
I think it's gonna happen.
That scares the crap out of me.
Yeah,
I don't know if I got a good video of that one. I had something.
Somewhere back some time ago, there was a TV special, probably a decade or so ago, where they were talking about robots and artificial intelligence, and the robots moving around blocks and picking things up. And a guy reaches over and grabs the arm of this robot and yanks it over towards him, and it recoiled and reacted in like a violent manner. And the guy that was on the special showing this robot, like, obviously was scared of the reaction of this thing. And I was watching with some friends who were all like, oh my God, there it is.
Yeah, it's here. You know, now they're trying to make them look human. That's what's happening. They're trying to make human-looking robots. You know, like I'm a big fan of Battlestar Galactica, the remake, not the original. The remake, you know, it's one of those shows that the remake was better than the original. And the Cylons, you know, they had like.
Heresy.
Oh, come on, man! It was definitely better than the original. And hold on a second.
What about surrogates? Do you think that's something that could be a possibility one day?
You talking like that Bruce Willis movie?
Exactly.
Another Bruce Willis mention?
You know, when like they would like have their dolls go in their charge case and then send them out to work, but they would be at home.
Creepy robot.
Yeah, you know, well, I don't know about that. I never even saw that movie because it just seemed so far-fetched. Like, oh, we're going to build robots to go out and do our jobs for us. I don't know.
It's not a hard stretch to imagine, though.
No,
is
I guess
the way
not.
people are locking themselves away in their house and with their computer or their phone or their whatever else, saying, Pokemon Go save the world for the next 6 months.
But I more see us creating a robot that seems to think, you know what, I can do a lot better than these humans can. And I'm going to wipe them out, and I'm going to make this planet a way better place.
Well, that's your iRobot. That's to protect humanity, we have to lock them away so they can't come out and have to eliminate the dangerous element.
Right. Because, yeah, I mean, if they make some, type of artificial intelligence that can build themselves and repair themselves, and then they don't need us anymore. They could take us out.
No, they just there's a company out there who's making. They're trying. What they want to do is they want to make drones, but they want to make drones that can be grown, literally grown in a tank. Like molecularly, it's not even 3D printing. It's like growing them, and they can just pop these babies out.
Stop arming the robots. Stop making them stronger than we are, and definitely don't give them ability to climb stairs, because that's the only thing that can protect us is stairs.
Oh, it didn't stop the Daleks. I will be back. No.
To the chopper.
What if they have a jetpack?
Well, that's the Daleks, man. They just float up in the air, man. They got time travel too. We're really screwed. No, I do see that as a possibility. We're getting more, or you talk about surrogates. I think the more big a possibility is us becoming part machine, part man, and there'll be the people that are like, I don't want any part of that. I don't want to become part machine.
But
and
why
there'll be a whole
couldn't we be?
subclass of people that are, like we're basically like Gattaca in a way with genetic engineering, but it would be with
So many of our body parts can be remade out of titanium. We just need our guts and everything. I mean, you see the runners and everything, they'll have the prosthetic leg. You don't get the cramps. You don't get this and that. You could pretty much be full-on almost robot.
And that's a scary concept.
It's an extremely scary concept.
Well, and there's companies that are working on downloading the human consciousness into a database, essentially. They've been working on that for years.
Well, that's what the Matrix was. Machines took over and used people as batteries and put them into a matrix. I mean, we could be heading towards that in a sense. The fact that we screw up the planet so bad that we have to put ourselves into a virtual environment to survive.
Well, we've talked about the concept of our imminent doom. That doom could be 1,000 years from now, where, like Jamie said, people have replaced almost all of their body parts, anything else, with computer technology or robot
We're
parts.
heading there. We're already heading there.
Yeah, we are. Now it takes is some jackass 13-year-old in his bedroom writing a virus that wipes out half of the population.
Yeah, that's what scares me about, like if a huge asteroid comes and it's going to hit the Earth, what are any of us going to do about it, Nuclear war, what are any of us going to do about it? But, yeah, going back to like we started with the flocka and all that weird stuff that makes people, basically zombie apocalypse, what if that got in the water? What if it got in the food somehow?
A virus that turns us into zombies.
Yeah.
That's a real thing, though. All this stuff, zombie apocalypse could be like a real thing.
The CDC used it as a test scenario.
Yep.
I mean, that could be major population control right there. Bam.
Well, and what you're talking about is not that far-fetched, because they just had a kind of a issue with that in England within the last decade of lithium and Prozac and all other kinds of psychoactive drugs that aren't being processed out. They're going through the body, into the urine, into the processing, and making it back into the water system and not being filtered. So
really?
Well, wait. Well, what about mad cow?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
They said that could be something that could pop up 20 years, 30 years later with people. That it could suddenly manifest later in somebody's life, and that's almost makes you like a zombie. I said if there's gonna be a zombie apocalypse, man, it could be mad cow disease. And that gives me the creeps, especially because, I mean, how did that start? I mean, what is it? They were feeding dead cows to to living cows and stuff like that, or something. I don't know. That's a whole other crazy topic.
Cannibalism's bad, okay?
Yeah. Also, there's the mad cow time bomb that I remember back in the late '90s that everybody was worried about. Is that still? Nobody talks about it now. Is that still a possibility? I don't hear anything
My
more
cousin actually was a mad cow scientist.
Wow, that must have been hard going to work that way. Finding a lab coat that fits.
She used to study mad cow cells and shit. And at Thanksgiving, all she would talk about was mad cow, mad cow, mad cow. We call her.
I'm sorry, Jamie, but now I've just got a cow in a lab coat in my brain standing in front of a microphone. That's all I've got. Sorry.
But look at all the cattle mutilations out there. Maybe our government's been testing cattle or something. I don't know. I mean, so many possibilities so many million ways to die in the West.
I still go back every couple of weeks, and I look at that image from Fukushima, and it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and nobody's talking about it.
Oh no.
And they say the salmon are carrying huge amounts of radiation.
I have friends that are big into import cars, and they've actually, some of them have taken to purchasing Geiger counters, because areas around Fukushima where all the cars are abandoned and everything's abandoned, there's people going in there stripping out vehicles and selling parts on eBay that are radioactive. And actually not being stopped at customs. There's things with dangerous and deadly levels of radiation being sold on eBay and shipped all over the world. I mean, engines, car parts, you name it. Anything that can have a radioactive signature. You just saw the thing where the guys snuck into the Fukushima area to do the photography of the abandoned cities. Well, everything that's there is abandoned. There's lots of other people sneaking in there and essentially looting. And then they're selling this stuff on eBay.
Yep, that's how it spreads. As tough as our world is, as resilient as it is, it's extremely fragile at the same point.
One of them over, I'll just leave it to Porter County, Indiana, is where a car part showed up that was hot.
Jesus. So you could be driving a car and getting doses of radiation.
It goes really fast.
Well, thank you guys for being on the show tonight. Yes, there's a million other ways, things we could go over tonight on this Doomsday topic. Maybe I'll bring it up again, but I wanted to do this. I did this episode because I want to have hope in the future, and I want to, like I said, you get on Facebook, and it seems like, even just the news, just watching the news, I feel like you're bombarded with the fact that we're all gonna die, or
that's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
and if anybody didn't know, that's from Aliens. That's Corporal Hicks.
Yep.
That was an improv, by the way.
One of the best lines of the movie, man. I love that movie. I've watched it a billion times. But I at some point, it's like, can we just live our lives? Do we have hope? Because it's like, I feel like hope is trying to be just bashed into just nothingness by the media and social media.
I want to have hope, and I try to hold on to hope no matter what.
And that was my point of this episode. I didn't want it to be doom and gloom. Yeah, I also wanted to be awareness about some really serious issues.
You have to be aware of what's going on around you. Be aware of what government, other people are doing. But overall, this is your one chance at life, and you're going to either live it in fear, or you're going to try to just find a happy medium and just learn how to live. And I want to live in a world that I'm not afraid of.
Right, and I feel like we're in the world of fear and loathing, as Hunter S. Thompson would quote.
Welcome to Bat Country.
Yeah, welcome to Bat Country.
Well, I apologize to everybody for me prattling on so much tonight.
No, this is the point of the episode. This is why I brought you guys on, to prattle on all night about this stuff. And if I could go longer about it, I would, but I can't. I want to have hope for my children. That's the biggest part. Like I said, back in the day, I could have just said, oh, cool, let's bring on the end of the world. I'm going to get a lawn chair out, smoke a J, and watch it happen, because that's my 20-year-old self didn't give a crap, And now that I'm 37, and I do give a crap. And even before I had children, I started giving a crap. But when I had children, I really started to give a crap. It scares me. Now I'm scared. I'm like gonna live in a paranoid fear state, and I don't want to. I want to live. I want to live the idea that we're gonna have some Star Trek in our future, man. Like you see all this great technology coming out and stuff. I want to have an idea that we're gonna like go explore the universe, and we're gonna like strive to be this great. Humanity could be this really great thing. We could like actually live in peace with each other. But it seems like at every turn, everywhere I look, we're being told that can't happen.
The thing is, though, none of us are getting out of this alive, and I think paranormal researchers are ones that know that more than anybody, and are more concerned that there is someplace else to go. But living your life worried and in fear doesn't do anything. It's live every day like it's your last, enjoy life, and hey, I mean, it's not worth being scared.
And I agree, and that's why I did this episode. Because we have to get over it. We have to stop being the doomsday generation. We have to give our big finger to the media and to the to the Facebook social media that wants to tell us all the different ways our government. It's not to say we should ignore it. It's not to say we should do something about it. I'm not saying that, but we should start talking about a future and start having hope in our future, and that we can do better. We can be better. And I'm not gonna screw Trump and his "Let's make America great again." I doubt it, you rat bastard. That's gonna happen with you getting elected or with Clinton getting elected. Screw you both. I believe as a people, as a country, as a world, we can make this planet better. We can do better. We can dream and have a better future, and we have to let go of this doomsday ideas that are being flooded to us every day. I think there's a purpose behind it. It's a purpose to take away our hope. It's a purpose to take away our dreams, and that's what gets me and pisses me off about it so much every day that I see it. I know there's a lot of people trying to get messages out there and trying to get the truth out there, but at the same time, I don't see people trying to just talk about hope and a dream of a better future. That's what I want to see more of on social media and from the media. That's my soapbox rant tonight.
All right, I'm going to go post a flower on Facebook now.
Yeah. You go. Well, thank you guys. All right, next week.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining
And
me.
remember, sing as if no one's listening, dance as if nobody's watching, and live each day as if it were your last.
And then post the pictures on Facebook so everybody can laugh.
And then post the pictures on Facebook.
Next week is, of course, going to be the ITC Collective show. Jamie D, Bill there, Rob. I hope you guys can join me on there in the panel. I don't know if Keith and Chris, I'll put them in the poster, but they're not sure if they're going to make it. They have an investigation that night. They're going to try to make it, so I'm not sure yet. But at least hopefully I have you guys. We'll have George Brown on to talk about the geobox and why he did it for just a little bit. And then we're going to do some live experiments, and maybe we'll ask how the world will end and see if the spirits will rely. They have told me Trump will win like 3 times now. Screw them.
Biomechanical aliens stealing our souls in the moon.
Well, thank you guys. Everybody have a great night. I will see you next Sunday, same bad channel, same bad time, 10 p.m. to midnight. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye, everyone.
So yeah, it was a doom and gloom show a little bit. Tried to make as much fun as I could, but it's something I wanted to talk about. Like I said, we've been faced with this doom and gloom. For me, all since from my childhood through the 80s and my teenage years in the 90s, it just seems like we're always being told there isn't hope for the future. Very little of it. I believe in hope. I believe that we can have a better future. I really hope so, because I believe it for my children. We can strive to be better humans. We can strive to do a lot better than we are. And I'm off my soapbox now. Thank you guys for watching. See you next Sunday, 10 p.m. to midnight, ITC Collective Night. We're going to be talking to the spirits. Join us then. It'll be open lines for that too. You can call in the show and see if the spirits can talk to you. Have a great night, guys. See you next Sunday.